Shout out to the God Turk, Supreme Clientele Radio. Diablo, SR the General, full blast the beat God. Graff Champs, yeah, Graff Champs, Graff Champs, yeah, Graff Champs. Shout out the 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 Graff Champs. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tune in to Graff Champs. We appreciate the love and support for all the Graff Camps. The most amazing and iconic artists out here smashing it from the train yards to the rooftops to the storefronts, highways catching wreck. SR the General, he be going crazy, bro, from his Instagram account, Supreme Clientele Radio. Interviewing all the icons, the ones that led the way. Salute to all the fallen legends, the ones that set the stage. Moment of silence, let us remember those. Peace. Whether they family or they will friend the flow. Hate them or love them, let's show them some respect. Major contribution in hip-hop, Graff Champs to the death. Ready and willing, never scared to fry. Never. Chancing the odds of getting up, prepared to rise. Super talented vandals, never scared to die. Let's show them love while they breathing. Go ahead and share the live, share the live. So tell a friend to go and tell a friend. Interviews are dope from the start up to the end. To the end. Let's show him love and call it glory time. Repost his post on your post, share his post up on your storyline. We Graff Champs. We out.
JD BTW in the building on Graff Champs, the end of the year show. Yo, before anything, Jay, we want to thank you for coming over here and blessing the fans with your presence, bro. We are honored and appreciative. You heard my nigga?
Man. No, I feel honored that, that you want to interview me. You know what I'm saying?
So I've been getting so many DMs this whole week since they found out you was coming on. Like, people couldn't even believe it.
I'm type, I stay to myself, You can find me on,
I feel you, bro.
You can find me on
That's
Instagram.
why
I really don't do like interviews because I don't know. I get awkward, I feel funny.
I feel you, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
We feel special to be sitting in front of you right here, bro. It truly is, bro. So we're gonna start from the beginning. How your story started, everybody want to know. So, what got you into Graff? How did you get into graffiti? Go from day one.
Man, okay. Like I was into it in like 82, 83. And I was in like third or fourth grade. Breakdancing just started to happen. It just started coming on the scene. And I wrote Cosmic. That's my tag. My first tag was Cosmic.
Cosmic. It sounds like one of those 80s tags.
That's straight up 80s shit, like Cosmic. That's what I sucked. You know what I mean? I just wrote in a couple of black books and shit like that. But you know what I mean? But it didn't go anywhere. And then I would say like 88, I said, I got to come up with a tag, and I just could not come up with one. They all sound whack. You know what I mean? Like, how I've heard your first thing, like Killer or Con or, or fucking, whatever.
So how did it come that you settled on a 2-letter tag instead of a word?
Because it was just my initials, you know what I mean? It was just genuine. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I just gave up and I just said I was going to do my initials until I figure it out, because I was horrible, you know what I mean? And I was like 88, 89. I was bombing with this kid, PSI. He was my first bombing partner. PSI, he rode bikes and it was pound, square, inch for his tires. This white boy, man, Jason Polagato, man, crazy Italian kid, racist as hell, And, oh my, he was so racist, and he got into a lot of problems with the Corona kids, and you know what I mean. Then I got beef with all these Corona kids because of this fucking crazy white boy, you know what I mean. Yeah, but I didn't take it seriously until like 89, 90. PSI went his way. I wanted to bomb I started looking around and my neighborhood and I saw a set. You know, I was like, yo, this nigga's set, bro. I was like, he was bombing with Cast and Saab. You know what I mean? The POT crew. It's Forest Hills. They're strictly Forest Hills, small little situation, you know? So, you know, I saw a set and I was like, yo, this shit is everything to me. Like, look at this shit. This shit is so dope. And I just got lucky and I met him and he was like an Asian dude. I was like, oh shit. I was like, this guy's Asian. I was like, get the fuck out of here, bro. I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna be cool with him now. You know what I mean? Because you think Asian people are more friendlier and all that, but he wasn't all that friendly. He was like, yeah, what can I do? What can I do for you, bro? He was like, what can I do for you? I was like, nah, man, I'm JD, man. You know, yo, can we bomb together? He was like, I was just like, stay jocking him, man. You know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, sure, bro. Come on. You want to fucking do graffiti? I'll fucking take you to do graffiti. Like, yeah. I was like, yeah, let's go. So I was like, yo, I'm bombing with Set. You know what I mean? He was everything to me. You know what I mean? Like,
and he already had his throwy at the time. The classic Set.
He had his throwy, and you know, it's not as nice as it is today, but it was a beginning. Like, you know, mine was horrid, and he never really. He never dissed me or nothing said. He didn't care. He let me bomb with him, bro. And I was horrible. I was making him look bad. And he showed me nothing but love, man. You know what I mean? I was so happy about that. You know, he was everything. You know, that was like 1989 and 90. And that's when we started going hard. 1990.
Yo, I mean, those years was so rough. The streets were so rough. So for an Asian person to go out there and make his name the way he did, that says a whole lot, bro.
No, man, I mean, like, when I met him, I just found out that, like, his house, like, these fucking dudes, like, threw bricks through his windows and all that shit. And I was like, what the fuck? He was like, yo, man. He was like, JD, never fucking tell anybody where you live, bro. Ever. I was like, and that shit stuck with me. That shit stuck with me like glue. I was like, I can't have no motherfuckers throwing bricks through my goddamn window, man. You know what I mean? I was like, and I never had a problem ever. No one ever found out where I lived. You know what I mean? And yeah, he had static, man. You know, a lot of people picked on him because he was fucking Asian. You know what I mean? Because and he was dope. But you know, once we got up together, I was like, ain't nobody fucking with him. You gotta kill me to get to him. You know what I mean?
So how long was y'all bombing together seriously before like niggas was like considering y'all JD and Set?
1990 to 94. We did 4 hard years, and we were destroying shit. Like I had to get out of Queens, man. It was like I hated to bomb my own neighborhood, you know, because it's Forest Hills, you know, there's the mean streets over here, you know, it's fucking.
Besides you and Set, was there anybody else from Forest Hills that like made noise like that, at least in Forest Hills?
Absolutely. There was a lot of big Forest Hills writers. Personally, if you ask me, Vamp, Vamp, I hope you get better, brother. You know, shout out to you. I'm so sorry that I was supposed to do this with Vamp, believe it or not. You know, me and Vamp on some Forest Hill Soldier shit. I was like, yo, let's do, let's do it with Vamp, you know, because we're both Queens, we're both in Forest Hills. He had to go to the hospital and, take care of something and get well. Vamp, I'm sorry, brother, you know, but we had to move to Vamp. You know what I mean? But yeah, Vamp made a lot of noise. He's from Forest Hills. You know, Set made a lot of noise. I heard Quick. From what I heard Quick is from Forest Hills.
Quick? The Quick
is an original from Forest Hills. So that's from what I've gathered, the information. You know what I mean? Don't quote me 100% on it, but I've heard this from multiple people. So it could be very, very true. Definitely got to shout out SP. We weren't best of friends. But like, he was definitely like, to me, hands down, he's got the nicest hand style, hands down. Like,
I got him up there with one of the dopest throwies, so clean and fluffy always.
That's a Queens thing, man. I'm telling you, man, it's a fucking Queens thing, man. Real legible and clean, and you can read it. You know, like SP's like fillings really nice, and his hand style. There's something special about his hand style, bro. If you get a chance, like check it out. It's just top grade. You know what I mean? Like hands down. You know what I mean? Like he used to bond with Dash. I don't like that kid. You know, and he played me when I was younger. You know what I mean? Sucker punched me when I was a young kid. You know, when I was little. So fuck that dude.
Wow.
Yeah, fuck that guy. He's dead though. He jumped in front of a train.
So let me ask you a question. So now when you're going hard in the 90s, right? You just started. All right, it's 1990. Y'all going hard. You're making a name for yourself. Those years were really competitive because the streets was flooded with a lot of dudes. Bronx dudes was going crazy. Brooklyn niggas was coming up. You know what I'm saying? It was the switch from the from the trains to the street bombing and shit. Who were some other names that you seen out there? Did anybody else inspire you? You was like, yo, these.
To be honest, the streets were, to me, were kind of empty. They were empty. You know what I mean? It was 1990, and there were some people up. Like I saw a lot of DG, Mags, and No. I saw a lot of those guys. Those guys had a lot of ups.
Rest in peace, man.
Of course, Jaws and Easy. You know what I mean? They had it all. They had it all locked down. When I went into Brooklyn, I can't really remember that much. Because
Astro, Chino, niggas like that have shit.
Yeah, Astro came after me. You know, I think I bombed before Astro. You know, because I remember when he came out. You know what I mean? He came out hard with these crazy big tags, and you know, respect to Astro. No disrespect saying that I started before you, but I think I did because I remember when he came hard out. You know, to me, like when you make an impression like that, that's your debut. You know. So
BTW is your crew?
Yeah, BTW is my crew. It was given to me by my boy Lean. Funny story how that happened. So let's get back to set and all this, and I'll tell you how the BTW happened. So, you know, I'm bombing with Set. We're making a lot of noise, and you know, Set has power in KRT. And I'm like, what's KRT? You know, I was oblivious to all of this shit. Like, I did, like, crews or like, whatever. I just wanted to bomb. So he like, yeah, JD, put KRT, bro. King's running things, bro. I'm like, really? I'm like, oh shit. I was all happy and shit. I was like, I got down with a fucking crew. And, you know, we're bombing and I'm putting it up. You know, I'm putting it up. BTW doesn't exist. You know what I mean? And then eventually I fucking meet Cost, you know? And this fucking douchebag fucking meets me and he fucking says, oh, yeah, you're docked. I'm like, what? I'm like, first crew I get down with, and the first crew I get docked by this fucking douchebag. You know what I mean? Who's like the patriarch of the neighborhood, because like he was like the old school guy, and I, you know, Seth was like, yeah, yo, of course he's you know, he's the man, yo. He bombed the trains. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, is somebody doper than you? I'm like, okay. Like, I'll take his word for it. And, you know, I meet him, and he's not impressed. Not impressed. You know what I mean? But, like, he was, like, the big deal. So, like, I wanted to make a good impression. And then he fucking doxed me. I was like, yo, I was hurt. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, so, you know, a day or two passes, and my boy Lean goes, yo, Jay, man, fuck that. Push BTW. That's yours. I'm like, what? Because that was like a small little time crew that we had around here growing up, like with my homies when we used to play manhunt and all that bullshit. My boy Dre always bombed. Oh, I mean, he always wrote graffiti. I mean, he's one of the nicest dudes. You know, like he'll do an A to Z fillings, 2 or 3 different styles. He was just always dope from the birth. You know, he was just nice, hand style and all. And he was like, yeah, I'm giving you BTW, man, because he saw it. He saw you know. That I was in my feelings, man. You know, he was like, fuck that shit. I was like, yo, thank you. And it clicked. It clicked right there. I was like, you know what? I was like, this is mine. This is mine. You know what I mean? I was like, it was just like, I was like, this is mine. I was like, holy shit, I have a crew. You know what I mean? Like, and this is what I want to tell everybody out there, man. When you're doing graffiti and all that shit, like, you should have your own crew. And it don't matter if nobody pushes it or no one's heard of it. You should have a crew. Like, you should have a crew, a 3-letter or 2-letter crew behind your tag. It's an extension of your tag. You know what I mean? Like when people say, yo, you know JD? JD who? BTW? There it is. Like, it's like a make and model number. It's a serial number.
It's a fact.
It's an extension of your tag. You know, like with JD, it's like JD1. Like that's like no one does that no more. Like that, like the one. That's that straight 90s shit, you know what I mean? And it died and it came and went. But like I still push JD1 because I just got a JD, you know what I mean? I gotta put some on that shit. I gotta make it work, you know what I mean? So we put the one on it and then put the BTW and then that's what it all is. So yeah. If you just started today, or even if you've been writing for years, make up a crew because everyone's had their own. Straight up.
So did you eventually like become cool with Cost or so?
No, we were cool because you know I wanted to be like I was fucking toy. I was nobody. You know what I mean? So it was like this guy was a big deal. So like we hung out again. He didn't want to not hang out with me. He was just letting me know that he was an authority and that you're not down. And then when we hang out again, drinking a couple 40s, he goes push KRT. Now you're down. It just didn't feel as good as the first time. You know what I mean? It was just it's lost its lackluster. You know what I mean? There was really no sparkle to it anymore. I was like, yeah, okay, all right, cool. I was like, so you know, what really deaded me with this dude Cost is like one time we're bombing. He knows we used to bomb together. And I throw up KRT. I was like, all right, I'll, when I'm bombing with you, I'll throw up KRT. And we're bombing and we're taking tags. And I'm like, yo, Cost, throw up BTW, man. That's my crew. He goes, BTW? I was like, yeah, it's my crew. He looks at me, goes, all right, goes to the wall, puts up a Cost outline, and puts up RTW. Like I was like, I didn't know how to take it. I was like, you serious? I was like, from that point right then and there, I was like, yo, this is the last time we're bombing together. This is the last time we're hanging out. And you will never, ever see a JD KRT tag ever. Mm-hmm. You just lost a soldier. And this is like, I was like nobody at the time. I was like, you fucked up. How you gonna do that? You know, like, dude, we're in our neighborhood. Put up BTW, man. It was like, you know, I know it ain't nobody down with it, but it's mine. You know what I mean? Help a nigga out. Fucking you know?
Yeah, I just want to point out too that this is you know, no offense, JD. I just want the fans to know that this is not the reflex or the views of the Graff Champs show. JD is just talking about his experience with a certain person. So I don't want nobody to think
I know him personally.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that real quick.
I don't care if he hears it. You know what I mean? Costs don't move right, and you know, and you know, he called me at the beginning part of my career, and like, you know what I mean? And he stepped on some feelings, and it was just like for no reason, just to make himself feel better. Like you know, I can't fuck with people like that. You know what I mean? Like I just can't. He don't move right. You know what I mean? So I had to part ways. So, you know, and then once I did that, I started bombing really, really hard. You know, getting like mad ups and just killing it with set. I started bombing with my boy Touche. I bombed with As Is. Touche, what up? As Is, my boy Deal, Cram, JR, you know, from Corona. Those dudes right there, those dudes showed me more love than anybody in Corona, because nobody liked me in Corona. You know what I mean? They didn't like me in Corona. Corona's the bad neighborhood. Like, you come over here, it's a nice neighborhood. You know what I mean? So they didn't really like me that much. You know what I mean? Because they're like, you can't come over here to Corona and bomb. I was like, oh fuck, yes I can. You know what I mean? So a lot of motherfuckers didn't show me no love, but Dio, Cram, JR, and Len King for love. I know I'm missing somebody, man. Why do I feel? Anyway, my UDI niggas, yo, those guys are original BTW, and I love them. Those guys always showed me love, and you know what I mean. Even though I was from foreign hills.
Dio is a real nigga.
I was a kid.
Did you ever hear of that kid that used to like Alacran?
Alacran? Hell yeah. IMS?
Yeah.
IMS, Alacron, hell yeah. Alacron, IMS, Look. I used to see Look. This guy used to write Look. MI used to do
MI, yeah.
MI. Spen, from he's in England right now. Who else? Cage, I thought Cage and Kel, even though we had a little beef, I shot him out, you know what I mean? Cage, NBK. Who else? Rod, Near. There's a lot of dudes. I can't really remember the Corona guys, you know, because I was burnt, you know. Can't remember a lot of shit, you know. Coma, I think you see Coma up and.
Oh yeah, Coma. That nigga had nice shit. Nah, I said Alacran because nobody ever really mentions him. And one day I met that nigga on Knickerbocker, right on the corner of my block, and he took me to his way, me and a few of my boys, and that nigga has you like he's a bully, like a street bully, like that nigga was like running.
No joke. I heard he's no joke, and I've always seen Alacron. I was like, I love that tag. Like, I was like, who the fuck writes that shit? Alacron. Yo, and he used to write IMS. His second tag,
IMS, like Apache, all of that shit. He used to write like 5 different things.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. Like, shout out to him if he's listening. You know what I mean. That guy was. I used to see his shit. I used to be like, look at this. I just liked it. It was good to look.
What about Trip? Trip is another Queens nigga that used to get up.
Yeah, I pretty much introduced him to graffiti. You know what I mean. And he was a cool kid. He was a really dirty ass kid that sold the most crypto chronic weed back in like 91, 92. Like before there was this chronic, there was this thing called crypto, and it was just like this mint green weed. I've never seen that shit before. Like back in the day, it was like the Thai stick to chocolate and skunk. That was like the highest of the grades we can get back in the day. This motherfucker came with this mint green, called it crypto. And it was from Florida. It was insane, dude. So, you know, we got cool. I started bombing with him. He was horrible. But we ended up having a bad parting because, you know, he went over a couple of my fillings on the fucking, Hunts Point. Him and, Kid Trip, and who used to write with this other kid, Trip and Yes? The fake Yes?
Yes, yep, yes. Jason.
I shouldn't say the fake Yes. You know, he wrote Yes or whatever, Yes 2. Or, I don't know.
POW.
Yeah. So he went over my fillings on the Hunts Point. Like me, Jay did a whole bunch of fillings, and he took the whole roof. I was like, who the fuck you took you up? I'm like, you just came out, like, you know. I was like, I brought you out. I fucking birthed you. Like, you know, I taught you how to steal cans and everything. You know, like, and you go over my shit. You wanted the whole wall. I was like, you fucking bugging. So I just went over all his shit. And that was the end of the trip. He no longer rode after that. He retired.
Got it. What about Stevo? Stevo is from Forest Hills.
Stevo is original BTW. Now he's my friend. Like, that's my close personal friend. You know what I mean? Like I don't even see him as a graffiti writer, but he is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing him. I'm just, when I see my boy, I'm not gonna say his name. I see my friend. You know what I mean? And sometimes I forget he writes. You know what I mean? Like he's like family. You know what I mean? Like, he's original. He was down with BTW before I was. You know what I mean? Like, it was a crew from around the way. You know, mad love to Stevo. That's my boy. I love him.
That's what's so. How did it go from the JD and Set super duo smashing everything to the JD JA era? How did that come about?
So I had met Jay one time, right by Limelight. You know what I mean? Like, it was him, BS, and Sast. And I was like, oh shit. And Stax was there. My boy Stax. YO, I love you, Stax. He was like, yo, JD, bro, come over here. I'm gonna introduce you. Straight up and down. He's like, yo, John. He's like, yo, Jay, this is my boy JD, bro. This is my boy JD. This is my boy. This is Jay. You know how he talks. You know what I mean? And he's like, and I was like, hey, what's up? It was kind of awkward. You know what I mean? I was like, holy shit! Like, this fucking this. I was like, there he is. You know? I was like, I was like, that's fucking God right there, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the deity. He exists. He's real. You know what I mean? So, you know, I said to myself, you know, what would I do if I meet this guy? You know, I was like, what would you do if you meet God, man? You don't talk about religion. You don't want to hear that shit. This, you know, so like, I wouldn't talk about graffiti at all. So we, you know, and we're hanging out, we're chilling, and the first thing he says to me is like, "Why do you write JD?" I was like, those are my initials. He was like, he just nodded his head, and I'm sure he could relate. You know what I mean? And then he fucking sparked up a fucking space full of some dust and crack. he had a fucking blunt with dust and crack, and you know what I mean. I was like, holy shit, what's that smell? And I was like, let me try that shit. And he was like, nah, you should. I was like, I was like, come here, give me that shit. Fucking took the pulls of that shit. I was like, yo, this shit is not for the weak. You know, I was like, holy shit. I was like the Iron Man. I felt like I was a Tin Man. And I was like, that shit was wicked. You know what I mean? And then so that we separated and we left. And where I met him again, where we got really cool, we were messengers in the city. Like I was a messenger, a bike messenger. So I'm going to the place where I got the job, and I'm walking into the place where you know, where I'm supposed to get, you know, go to dispatch, and I fucking walk in. Who's sitting right there on the fucking benches? It's JA and Cope, and I'm like, oh fuck! I'm like, damn. I was like, I really didn't want to work with him. You know what I mean? I just, you know, I want to be cool with him, but I was like, we're in each other's face. You know what I mean? And it's just awkward because I don't know the guy, and I want to make an impression, and I want him to like me and all that. So I just didn't say much to him. You know what I mean? And we both knew who we were. You know what I mean? And so I was like, I'll just do that. I'm like, I know this. When this guy meets graffiti writers, like they don't shut up about their graffiti. Like I've seen it. It's like, oh my God, shut up. You know, they just talk about it. I'm not gonna, not one word, not one spit. So I'm like, yo, what's up? And fucking Cope is there, and Staff works there too. I'm like, yo, this is fucking crazy. So we get cool. We're doing runs and fucking messenger runs and all that shit. Like a month or two passes, we start hanging out real tight. You know, because we get to know each other like we're friends. Or like I get to know him. Like we didn't take a tag. We didn't do none of that shit. You know, and we just started becoming really cool. I was like, this guy's fucking really cool. He's fun. You know, and cool to hang out with. Always a lot of energy, and we just go around the city stealing shit. And Cope, that motherfucker was stealing cans in the city in 93. This was in 93, 94. He was going around like he would come at the end of the day, his book bag would be filled with cans, and it was hard to steal cans in the city. Cope was the real deal, bro. Like he was like, yo, JD, look at my. I was like, yo, damn. He's like, you know, we used to go out to Long Island and we go into Jersey. We take the trek, but this guy was like, he just every day a little nibble here, a little nibble there, and he always filled his fucking book bag. Like Cope is the real deal, bro. So and. You know, a lot of people give him shit, you know, and I don't understand because I remember that guy from humble beginnings, man. He was a foot messenger, $5 an hour. We were making $5 an hour.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
And this dude was going around stealing cans and he was bombing. Yo, I give him all the respect, man. Like, you know what I mean? I don't like when they hear people dissing him because it's like, give him the respect because they haven't seen the come up. Well, I've seen this guy broke, hurting, you know? And now with Jay, too. Everybody used to say, oh, that rich kid, little rich kid. I was like, that motherfucker ain't rich. That motherfucker, he's working as a bike messenger. I mean, with a foot messenger with me. You know what I mean? It was like, if he was rich, he wouldn't be doing that. Like, I used to hate it when I heard that, you know? But we got really cool, and then we started bombing. Then we started taking tags in the train. I was like, oh, shit. And I was like, you took a tag as a kid, Jay. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, so I took a tag next to him. I was like, yo, I was like, oh, shit. I was like, it's tag that shit. Like, everyone's gonna see it. Everyone's gonna fucking see it. Holy shit, you know what I mean? You know, you starstruck in the beginning. You know, now I look at the dude. I'm like, get out of here, man. You know what I mean? But like back in the day, I'm like fucking starstruck. And we're taking tags, and I was like, yo, JA, man, push BTW. He was like, what does it stand for? I was like, big time riders, beyond this world, bring the weed, back to work. You know, he was like, all right, push XTC, JD, exonerate the children. He said a couple of things. I was just like, oh shit. I was like, I wanted to fucking jump up like, oh, yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, I can't wait to push that shit around my neighborhood so Courts could fucking have a heart attack. You know?
Yo, that's the first time I ever heard exonerate the children. I never heard that one.
Exonerate the children.
That's fire. That's fire.
Seth's famous one is Xanax takes control. Xanax takes control. The other one is exploit the children or exonerate the children. I think exploit the cops, exonerate the children.
Exploit the cops. That's fire too. That's fire. Yeah, I never heard those shit. So I gotta put you in a fucked up position right now. I gotta ask you, who has the dopest throw in Queens?
Me.
Who has
me?
All right, listen. So you could, what about a top five? A top five? A top three?
A top five would be Saint, Ghost. No, Set. First Set, Saint, Ghost, SP.
Ooh, SP1.
Queens. And me.
JD, that's a 5 right there. So you said Saint, Ghost,
Saint. I didn't say Saint. Yeah, I said Set, Saint, Ghost.
Oh, Set. You said Set.
Yes, Set, Saint, Ghost, SP.
And you. All right. So what about do you have a top 10 favorite writers of all time?
Set is my hero. He's my favorite. He's the nicest, beautiful villain. You know what I mean? Took me under his wing when I was fucking hurt. Like, that's my hero. You know what I mean? After him, it's Saint. And then Ghost, especially Ghost. I've always loved Ghost's stuff. You know what I mean? Like, there's no father to his style. You know, like, nobody writes like him. Yeah. What was the question?
The top 10 writers of all time, your favorites?
Yeah.
You already said Set, Saint,
sorry,
and
man,
Ghost.
I've been drinking all day, so this I'm getting ready. Set, Saint, Ghost. SP. I like it. I always liked SP's outlines. They were dope. I've always liked Clark, my boy Clark Tien. I've always liked his straight letters. I've always liked his straight letters, nice and clean and simple. Like, people don't understand that shit. Like, with Queens writers, we were just really legible. Like, our shit, you could read our shit. Like, you know, like Evidence to like Saint and Duel and like Ghost, you could read his shit. You could always, his shit was, you know, it was always bubbly. It was a straight letter, but like a lot of Queens writers were very legible and straight lettered and you could read this shit. You know, Giz is definitely 100% Giz. There's people I'm forgetting. I'm a little tipsy, but I don't really have a big list. I have a list of who I respect, you know, but I think my 5 is the most I'll go as far as like favorites, you know what I mean? And Set is number 1.
That's dope. The same way you feel about Set is the same way I feel about like niggas like Turk and Ever and shit. And my boy Rav, like these are the niggas that I really, you know, that I grew up with, and they're my real friends. And we just happen to write graffiti together when, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I feel the same way about them niggas.
You know, I was like, he was everything. Like he was up all over Queens and my neighborhood, and I was like, oh, I wanted his attention. And we're like, where is he? You know what I mean? Like I want to be with him. Like he's got the right idea, you know, because the whole graffiti thing with me stemmed from like I always liked it and loved it, but it was a big part of it was dealing with an identity issue as well. Like I had a very big identity issue. Like you know, like. Always felt uncomfortable or like not cool, or like I just always wanted to be respected, and like, you know, like stupid shit now that I look back and now I'm like, why the fuck did I care? Like that shit ain't putting money in my pocket. That shit is not putting me on planes. You know, giving a fuck what other people think about me got me nowhere. Like it just caused stress and uncomfortable relationships with other people. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, like I just wanted to be respected and fucking be cool, because there were a lot of people in my neighborhoods, like the local people, they, you know, they're all into guns and gangs and all that bullshit. And that just wasn't me. I'm not hood like that. I mean, I'll throw hands with anybody, but like I'm not into the guns. I'm just not into that. Like I don't want people to like fear me or like respect me because I have a gun. I want them to respect me because I earned it. You know what I mean? Like that shit is fucking pussy. That's just for the birds, you know what I mean? Like all that gun shit. So I just wanted to make a name for myself. I was like, you know, telling me people like, you're doing it wrong, man. I'm like, I'm going to show you how to do this. You know what I mean? And I just started bombing really hard and shit like that. And dudes that didn't respect me or didn't like me, all of a sudden were like, yo, that's JD. What up, JD? You know what I mean? Like, they meet graffiti writers and they're like, yo, you know JD? He's like, yeah, that's my man. I was like, you ain't my boy. You don't even like me. Fuck out of here. That was the paycheck. That's the paycheck right there. You know what I mean? I was like, you corny ass motherfucker. You had no money. All of a sudden, now you're throwing my name around. That's the paycheck. I was like, I did it. I became the most famous kid out of my little neighborhood, Forest Hills. I think so.
So what do you think about the graph now, the graffiti writers now? Do you see anybody getting up? Do you even look?
I do, but not. I don't really pay attention. I try. I really lost. I really try to ignore it because I just can't be a knucklehead. Like, you know, once like I had from 88, really 90 when I really started to 2000. I had a 10-year run. That's it. I had to stop because I had a son. My son was born. You know what I mean? And I just couldn't get arrested for dumb shit. Like I had to get a job. I gotta feed this little motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, so 2000 is when I called it quits, and I haven't bombed ever since. And it's crazy because it's like 22 years ago, and people still show love, and you know that's how I know I did what I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like.
Super duper impact. We don't want you to underplay it because a lot of people don't know how other people perceive them. So I'm gonna let you know in the graph world and shit, like you're JD, my nigga. Can I ask you a question? What about that fucking that spot where you and JA did like 100 back to back fillings? I see it in pictures and I can never count how many fucking back to backs you did. Do you know how many you did?
56.
What? So half him, half you?
Yeah, we were militant, man. We were militant, man. Let me tell you something. When I started bombing with fucking JA, I was like, okay, like I had to step up a little bit because he was just like we used to do one filling on the block and keep it moving. Like that just didn't happen with this dude. Like we would saturate the fucking block. Like, I'm like, yo, this is just ridiculous. Like, but I just did it because, you know what I mean? I went along with what he did. You know what I mean? Because, like, I was like, you're not going to have as many films as me now. Now I started getting competitive. I was like, you're going to do 3? I'm doing 3. You know what I mean? We started getting close to each other. And, yeah, so we were militant, man. He was like, Jay, we're gonna do this spot. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, we're gonna go do this wall. We're gonna grab this ladder, and we took the ladder from Hunts Point, put it on the 7 train. This ladder was 20-something feet long. We put it in the train. We rode it. We all the way to Harlem. 100 and where's that? 156.
156, 156, right? On the side of the bridge.
We go up to 7. We catch the fucking what is that? The red numbers. We catch one of the red numbers. Dude, like to get the ladder out, he had to like start from 4 doors down, and I got to start from the front door, and we got to walk it out. You know what I mean? Like he had to like
on an angle.
Like the way you walk it in one door from the back door, and then you got to end up through the front door. Like there was just no other way to get out of it. And I was like, "What the hell are we doing?" It was so suspicious. So, and then we carried this ladder all the way to fucking to the West Side Highway, and we start just going off. And we timed it 30 seconds. We're doing the whole wall, Jay. I'm like, what? We're doing the whole wall. I was like, okay. I was like, all right. Like, cause we started doing like this, a couple of fill-ins. He was like, we're doing the whole wall. I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay. And he was like, 30 seconds each, 30 seconds. So we counted, I was counting 30 seconds. He had to do his fill-in. You know what I mean? And then he came down, and then I went up and I did my fill-in. And then he went up and did his outline, let it dry. Cause you know what I mean? Let it dry. And then when my fill-in was finished, and he ran up and did his outline. And then when he finished his outline, I ran up and did my outline. And we did 56 in a row, and they blended in different colors. I didn't realize how significant that spot was until daytime, when he was like, Jay, we're going back to take pictures. I'm like, you want to go back? He's like, yeah, we're going back. I'm like, all right. Like break of dawn, like the minute, like 6 o'clock in the morning, we go there, and I'm like, holy shit. And it was like, everybody was talking about it. It was pretty serious. Like I remember Cope saying, yo, B, there's no sense of even hitting that wall anymore.
That's
he was like, don't, nobody bothers even going to hit that wall, man. You guys just fucking changed it. I've never been saying that. I was gonna say, you know. But
do you have any original pictures of the wall?
I got to dig, man, and I don't want to dig. I got pics. I got a lot of pics. You know what I mean? Over here, all the fucking walls were filled with J and JD films in my apartment when he used to live with me. We did fucking killing go in my living room and shit. You know what I mean? You could probably see it on Facebook. But yeah, we were doing some militant fucking saturating destroy like the D line. Dude, what me and this guy did to the D line was just criminal. Like they had all of Brooklyn talking, and everyone that rocks those summer squash force fields, you can thank me and Jay. You can thank me, Jay, for that, because we started that shit. Like I remember, like Jay was like, "Yo, see this Jay?" I was like, "What is that?" I was just about summer squash. Yo, I was like, "Those are what are we gonna do with that?" He was like, "Force fields." I was like, "Force fields." You know what I mean? Like what do they call them now? They call them what do they
double
call
outline.
them? What?
Double outline. A double outline.
They also
a double outline.
Something else they call it, but what do they do? Force fields. You know what I mean? So we started rocking summer squash force fields on everything, and we went back 3 nights in a row on the D line. 3 nights, because we destroyed each stop, 2 stops, the whole way in between. We just saturated, did the next stop, went home, came back the next night, did 2 more stops. You know, we didn't just do a run down like 10 stops. We came back 3 nights in a row, and we fucking destroyed it. Like everybody was like, yo, if everybody was bugging on that one. But yeah, that's when everyone started doing summer squash yellows, force fields. You know what I mean? Because we did that. We were the ones that started that.
So fill-ins, that's what you wanted to do first, like more than anything, fill-ins? Because I'm a tag bomber, and I'm more of a tag bomber, you know?
Well, you start with that, you know? You start with it, but I just knew that, like, I had to have a fill-in too. Like, I just knew, like, I had to do that. It was just essential, you know what I mean? And my shit was so horrible. I'm gonna draw one now. I can still draw one. Hold on.
Yo, and it's mad hard to come up with an original J, especially when you're bombing with Ja.
Oh my God, dude. Let me tell you something. My J
Right? It's hard to come up with J throwy, especially when you're bombing with J. He has
My
straight
J, my J was specifically designed so it didn't look like J shit and Jaws shit and PJ. Because I remember when I was young going to the Bronx to visit my grandmother, and my parents would drive the car, and I used to see fucking J going over PJ. And what J used to do is he would just go over the P and use his J because they were both the same. He would leave his J and put an A on all his shits. I was like, wow. I was like, look at that shit. When Jay was warring with PJ and Coke, like they were warring, you know what I mean, in the Bronx highways. I was like, holy shit. And this was before I kind of wrote. I noticed it. I was like, holy shit. And I see Fade. Was it Fade? No. Yeah, it was Fade and Med. Right?
Med Star. Yep.
And Fade and Jess. My boy Jess, Rob. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He had original J too. I used to like his shit. I used to see him up on the highway.
I see Chromag.
Who?
Chromag?
Yo, Chromag, that's my boy. That was my homie, man. He fucking passed away. Rest in peace. You know what I mean? DG, rest in peace. Checo, rest in peace. VE, rest in peace. Sane, rest in peace. Foot, rest in peace. I didn't know you, but rest in peace, my brother. Everybody else, you know, that they with us now, you know. What were we talking about?
We're talking about Graff. Fuck that.
Yeah,
yo, so what's next for you? You're doing custom artwork. You're selling canvas. What you doing?
I just couldn't keep up with the canvases, and everybody kept lowballing. You know, I'm asking for like $150 to $200 for my canvas because I make 14 by 14s. You know what I mean? And they're beautiful. Hold on. And everybody's fucking like, you know, lowball. And asking for this amount. And I'm thinking more like $50. I was like, who the fuck is selling canvases for $50? I'll give you a tag for $50. I'm like, you know, I was like, that's not me. I don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, I grabbed the wrong one. Anyway, so I just couldn't keep up. You know, there was this, you know, people always try to ask for a cheap or trade. That's the most annoying shit. Let me tell you something. Graffiti writers out there, don't ask someone that's higher up to do a trade with you, especially if, you know, I don't want to be a dick, but if you ain't done shit, why the fuck would you think that your canvas is equate to mine, the value? Like, you know, I would get that all the time. I was like, he's like, oh, what about trades? I'm like, I don't collect. And if I did, you know, it would be this person, that person, this person. Well, you know, what about, I'll trade with you. And I'm like, yo, like he's being rude. He doesn't even realize he's being rude. I'm like, I tell him, I'm like, why would I want to trade with you? Like, you know, I had to like let him know. I'm like, you're never going to make this mistake again. I'm like, why would I trade with you? You just started the other day? Like, why would I trade with you? I don't want your artwork. I don't want to look at your artwork. He was like, oh, do it for the culture. I was like, for the culture? I was like, I already did the culture. I was like, when are you going to do your culture? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I can't even, I don't speak this language, bro. Like, you're being rude. Don't ask me to trade with you. Like, I don't even know who the fuck you are. And I don't like to be a dick. You know what I mean? That's because.
Nah, but that's disrespectful. Some niggas got to get put in place like that, nigga. Fuck that.
What's wrong with you? Like, are you serious? Like, even I know not to, like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even ask, like, who I am. I wouldn't ask to trade with Ghost. I wouldn't ask to trade with Saint. I wouldn't ask to trade with any of these guys. Like, I'm like, yo, like, I don't want to get shot down and be like, Jay, it's cool. I'm good. I wouldn't even want to put myself in that line of fire to get that rejection. Or maybe they'd be like, yeah, cool. But like, I don't roll dice on my feelings, man, because I'm sensitive, brother. I'm sensitive when it comes to this graffiti shit. And I don't pay it no mind, but I'm still like, I'm sensitive about it. You know what I mean? Like, I did what I did, and don't lowball me on my canvas. I'm asked for $150. They're beautiful canvases, man. Take it and give me the $150. 50. I'll take it 50. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, these niggas, I was like, please don't fucking do $50 canvases. Like, and there's people I know that do that. I'm like, don't do it. It's because you're
fucking the game up.
Yeah, man, you're worth more than that. You know what I mean? Like, I just work. Graffiti don't put me on planes. You know what I mean? Don't get me around the world. Hard work.
That's a fact.
Hard work.
Let me ask you a question. Where do you rate yourself and Set as a group?
The last realest motherfuckers that come out of Queens as a team. That's where I rate us. Me and Set are the last Mohicans, the last of the Mohicans that came out of Queens, man. The tag team, we're the last real motherfuckers that came out of Queens. And that's not to diss anybody. You know what I mean?
You haven't seen anybody from Forest Hills now, like in the new generation that has been repping?
I don't know anybody. I literally don't know anybody. I don't talk to anybody. I go this way, I go that way. I don't know graffiti writers. I never did. Like, I just stopped hanging out with them because, what you wanted in the beginning, like, this is what graffiti writer wants always in the beginning. He wants to get the fucking fame. He wants to get the respect. That's what they want. That's where it all starts. That's the crux of it. Like, I guess that's where it starts. You want to get that recognition, that fucking fame and shit like that. And that's what I wanted, but I was dealing with an identity issue. Like, I was like, who the fuck am I? Like, what am I doing? Like my neighborhood is soft as shit. Like, you know what I mean? But I love it. I'm never gonna leave it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, how am I gonna get like respect coming out of fucking Forest Hills? Because like I actually thought that people gave a fuck about it, like where I came out of. And people don't really give a shit. They don't. Like, I was killing myself. Literally killing myself. I was like, yo, I don't want people to know I come out of Forest Hills. You know what I mean? or in general, in Queens in general, it was soft. That's why I used to always love to bomb Brooklyn. Always loved to bomb Brooklyn more than Queens and Corona. Like, any place where it was shitty, I would go. You know what I mean? Love to bomb Brooklyn. You know what I mean? And and some Brooklyn brothers showed me love, man, like Stacks and Checo. Checo showed me mad love, man. Fuck Crew, old school Fuck Crew.
Checo, LC.
They showed me love, man. And there was a lot of motherfuckers that didn't show love. You know what I mean? That did not. It did not like me. Did not want me hanging out. Like, why are you here? Like, literally. I was like, all right. I was like, we'll see. Like, you'll be inviting me back and wanting me to hit your black book. Watch. You know what I mean? And
redemption.
And you know what I mean? And that I used to love the bomb Brooklyn a lot. And Queens is, then I embraced my neighborhood. I was like, fuck that. I'm from Forest Hills, the mean streets. And you're gonna like it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You know what I mean? You're gonna fucking love it. You're gonna wish you lived here. And now I rep it to the fullest. I embrace the
stuff. So Jay, do you have any like last words before we jump off this to the fans? Do you want to say, give shout outs? Do you want to say anything to anyone?
Anyone that knows me and that I didn't shout you out, I'm sorry. I love you. One I want to say is if I was ever a dick to anybody back in the day, I'm sorry. Like, the graffiti got to my head, and I wanted to be cool. When I became cool, I was a dick to a couple of people, and I apologize truly from my heart. I'm sorry. I thought like this shit really made a big deal, and it didn't. And sorry, because I was a dick. And then
that's real.
I was a dick, and then then I started realizing, like, once I started becoming really, really famous, and when 94, 95, 96 when we ran New York, you know, like me and JD ran New York. And it was just like, I didn't like the fame anymore. It was like we go to parties and it's like every single person here knows who I am. I don't know who anybody else is here. You know what I mean? Like you walk in and it's just like, and it just made me uneasy. You know, because I used to get jumped a lot too. You know what I mean? I can't stand that shit. If I shoot the fair one, man, like I'll give you the fair one. I don't care if I lose, but let me have a chance. Don't jump me on some pussy shit. Because if you do, I'll do some pussy shit right back to you. I don't care. I'll do the most pussy shit right back to you. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, just be nice to the people that you meet on the way up, because you're never gonna know who you meet on the way down.
Facts. Your life is like that. But yo, Jay, man, you are a legend, an icon. You're so much, bro. It's hard to put it in one. You know what I'm saying? And I thank you for even talking to us, bro. Like we salute you.
Anytime, man. And another thing, y'all motherfuckers, stop saying you went all city. Like when you didn't, I was there. You know, so sometimes I'm hanging out and I'm hearing, yo, I went all city. I'm like, oh, no, he didn't. He just didn't say that. No, he didn't. He's saying it again. Wow. Stop saying it. I didn't even go all city because I didn't even bomb the Bronx. So you know what I mean? So if I didn't go all city, a lot of you motherfuckers didn't go all city. Right?
Everybody's all city these days.
Stop disrespecting the all city term. You know what I mean? Stop disrespecting it. You know?
Facts.
Be famous. You don't have to be all city. Not everybody hits that.
Yo, Jay, bro, salute to you, my brother. Thank you for everything. JD BTW Press, bro.